Hello, I am Arif. You only have a few more days for your exam. I'm sure you are getting anxious and nervous, but what I'll do in this brief clip is share some ideas on how you can make the most over the last few days. By this stage, you should have completed your studies of the Level 1 curriculum, and ideally, you should also have done one full round of review. But if anything is still missing, or if you feel that you are weak in a particular set of readings, then I would recommend that you listen to our high-yield videos. This will allow you to catch up on the most important points. At this stage, you really don't have time to get into details. Just make sure that you know at least a little bit about every single reading. You also need to make sure that you remember the key facts and formulas from the Level 1 curriculum. If you've been taking your own notes, identifying the facts and formulas, then I would suggest you look at your own fact and formula sheet. But if you don't have your own sheet, then you can use IFT's key facts and formula sheet. Here we identify the most important facts and formulas from the entire Level 1 curriculum. The most important activity at this stage, however, is practice. If you have done 2 rounds of the curriculum, then you should work through mock exams. There are mock exams on the CFA Institute website. Do those. Take the first mock exam if you've not already done so, and then identify your areas of weakness, address those areas, and then go back and take the second mock exam. If you've already worked through the CFA Institute mock exams and you need more practice, then you can also do the IFT mock exams. In addition to the mock exams, I also want you to do the assessments which are available on the CFA Institute website. And if you need further practice, you can do IFT quizzes which are available for each topic. At this stage, you can also go back and look at the mistakes that you made while doing the practice problems in the curriculum. I want you to do this so that you do not repeat the same mistakes on your actual exam. My final advice here is that these last few days are critical. No matter how hard you have studied, over these last few days, I want you to work as hard as possible and practice as many questions as you can so that you ace the level 1 exam. That is it for now. Best of luck with your studies. Basics of derivative pricing and valuation. The pricing of derivatives depends on arbitrage, replication, and risk neutrality. So let's understand these terms. Derivatives must be priced such that no arbitrage opportunity exists. Replication involves the creation of an asset or a portfolio from another asset, portfolio, or derivative. So for example, we can say that if we have an asset, let's say the asset is a stock, we combine this stock with a short position in a forward contract on that asset. The combination of these two, an asset and a derivative, essentially creates a risk-free asset. So what we have done is, by combining these two instruments, we have replicated a risk-free asset. So this is an example of replication. Risk neutrality is the principle that the risk aversion of an investor does not impact derivative pricing. So whether an investor who has a very high risk aversion is buying a derivative contract or an investor with a low risk aversion is buying a derivative contract, the pricing is the same. This means that to price a derivative contract, the appropriate rate of return is the risk-free rate. The overall process of pricing derivatives by arbitrage and risk neutrality is called arbitrage-free pricing. And we'll repeat an important statement here. A derivative must be priced such that no arbitrage opportunities exist. There can be only one price for the derivative that earns the risk-free return. So going back to an earlier point, we can combine an asset with a derivative to create a risk-free asset. The price of an asset is known, the risk-free return is known, so there will be only one price of a derivative such that when this derivative is combined with the asset, we get a risk-free return. Now let's get deeper into the value and price of forward and futures contracts. On this slide, we'll assume that forwards and futures are priced the same way. There is a subtle difference which we'll cover later. The price of a forward contract or a futures contract is the forward price that is specified in the contract. So for example, if we have a stock, and let's say this is a non-dividend paying stock, that's our underlying asset. The stock price today is 50. If we get into a contract to buy this stock after 1 year at a price of 55, then this 55 is called the forward price. So what's happening here is we are at time 0. The contract expires at the end of year 1. The price that we agree on at time 0 is called the forward price. Now, if there are no cash flows involved and there is no benefit of holding this asset, then the forward price lying asset expiration. This forward price stays the same throughout the life of the contract. At expiration, the long party pays this amount and gets the underlying asset. That is, if this is a deliverable contract. The value of a contract is 0 at initiation. So at time 0, the value is equal to 0. This is because neither party, neither the long nor the short, benefit from this arrangement. The ultimate benefit will depend on what happens to interest rates and what happens to the price of the underlying. As time passes, the value of the contract is based on this formula. So the value at any point t is the spot price minus the present value of the forward price. So that's plus r to the power of t minus the future value of benefits. So if there are any benefits during this period, we figure out the future value and that is subtracted. And if there are any costs, then that amount is added. So plus the future value of any costs during this period. Another way of expressing this is to say that the forward price is equal to this minus the net benefit. So we basically combine the benefits and the cost, call that the net benefit, and we say we minus that. The formula given in the curriculum is the following. So the curriculum says that forward price is S0 into 1 plus R to the power of T minus the net benefit, which is given by gamma minus theta, gamma being the benefit, theta being the cost. So the difference is the net benefit into 1 plus R to the power of T. So this represents the present value of the net benefit, and then by compounding forward, we have the future value. So you can remember this formula. An equivalent formula subtracts the net benefit from the spot price. So an equivalent formula is S0 minus gamma plus theta. So we are essentially subtracting the present value of the net benefit and then 1 plus R to the power of T. So you can memorize these formulas, but the key principle is identified in this formula. Coming now to value, if we do have costs and benefits, then we can say that the value at time small t is equal to the stock price or the price of the underlying at time t minus the net benefits. And these are the net benefits for the remaining period. So if we are here